I am quite done with social media to an extent. I do produce, I generate content, I
Yeah,
push it out,
yeah,
but I seldom consume.
sure.
In fact, I don't have Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter app on my phone. I've deleted them. And I only access Facebook on my laptop. And even so, I install a Chrome app. I can't remember the name right now. I think it's called Nudge, where it automatically removes some of the stuff that makes Facebook addictive. For example, it will grayscale the color. So because color is an addictive element, it would actually remove all the side banner. So you are only seeing something like a WordPress, just going in to write. It's like a Microsoft Word kind of thing. But I think that naturally has kept down the amount of time that I spend a lot on social media, or I used to spend a lot on social media. I still leverage a lot on LinkedIn because of
Yeah,
work purpose, but I use a lot of automation to help me do stuff. So I don't really spend a lot of time again consuming all those stuff. I mean, consumption does, of course, provide a huge dopamine hit. But I'm trying to remind myself every time if I want to consume the same dopamine hit, I will prefer to do it through creation of an article, creation of a podcast, and in today's instance, creation of a video cast. So I think those are much more interesting. So even to the extent, I think the key is really to be a producer rather than a consumer. As a producer on the same channel, the kind of gains that you get is tremendously different. I mean, look at the highest earner on YouTube. He happens to be a what, 9-year-old? And he made last year, if I don't remember wrongly, 25 million US dollar just reviewing toys. But then he's one of the few that are reviewing toys. Most kids are looking at him reviewing toys. So unless they take a step to the other side, go into the dark side, so to speak, and started reviewing their toys and really become a producer, I think what you mentioned really holds true, where all the bad stuff would just come into play. People are just getting the dopamine hit, occupying their time needlessly, and then just going through all this doom scrolling on a regular basis, which of course deplete them time to do other stuff.
Truly. So actually, you partially answered a question that I had. I wanted to follow up on that. Um, what might have been the reasons why you chose to kind of dissociate yourself? Was there some
Uh,
experience that you went through that made you do that?
I realized that overconsumption of social media, and of course studies have proven it, that you tend to be very depressed, tend to become more depressed because when you go into social media, you don't realize that you're actually watching the highlight reels of somebody's life. And it is human behavior or reaction to compare yourself, your
Exactly.
sucky self right now, versus the highlight reels of other people, which honestly doesn't make sense. But
Totally.
it still make you feel bad. And I feel in order to keep myself positive, I need to stop from doing so. So instead of looking at Facebook and reminding myself not to compare, I would rather just not compare to begin with. And also, going back to the app that I have installed on my Chrome plugin, my Chrome, it also has this function where it auto follow people. So I actually reached a stage where when I go into my Facebook, I don't see a lot of stuff. Then I started to follow people selectively, politicians, thought leaders. So it became more like a LinkedIn-ish kind of feed where I get those kind of bite-sized information that I think I really want to consume that I couldn't find in mainstream media. For example, during the general election, there are things that you want to find on social
Yeah,
media that are more trending. So
truly.
those are the things that which drove me to react in that way.
Awesome, awesome, Adrian. See, you at your age and stage of maturity, you are doing this. Is there any reason why you would not want this to be taught in the schools?
Oh, of course not. A lot of all this stuff, in my opinion, should be taught in the school. How to manage, like what we're talking about, even financial management. This is
Yeah,
something that I always thought. I always feel
totally.
that school should be teaching. My own theory is because Singapore is such a consumer-based economy, it is quite counterintuitive to teach people to save money and not to spend when spending money is what is driving the economy. So a judgment call has to be made, and unfortunately, it is at the disadvantage of our kids.
And may I just add to your point, funnily enough, even in a country like the US, and I hate to bring US in the discussion, but I'm saying this because I want to highlight a country like the US where people are being doled out. Singapore doesn't dole money, right, to people, but in the US they're doling out money. Even there, they found that the biggest issue that employees have is financial wellness. So financial wellness is one of the 6 dimensions in the book I wrote. And I did, in one of the workshops that I've done surveys on many companies, and from the data I have, it's true that mental wellness is the least strong among the 6. But guess what? The second least strong dimension is financial wellness in Singapore and other countries as well in ASEAN. So you're right. Why should we not teach some of these things, when we start young?